Hello. I'd like to thank Luca Fusari, my Facebook friend, colleague, and fellow libertarian, for inviting me to speak briefly to the 2012 conference of the Interlibertarians in Lugano, Paradiso in Switzerland. I'd also like to thank him for providing a fantastic video address to our own recent conference here in New Zealand. Luca's English is better than my Italian, so I'm afraid I must post this in my own native tongue. My name is Pleasance, and I am president of the New Zealand Libertarian Party, the Libertarians, and we can be found at www.lp.org.nz. We are a classical liberal party and have been in existence for about 17 years, contesting most general elections in New Zealand, with very little electoral success. In World War II, my father was one of the genuine Brill-cream-wearing flyboys in the Royal Air Force. Unfortunately, the Royal Air Force standards in those times meant that my father's poor colour vision and flat feet rendered him unable to actually pilot, but, for some reason, he was perfectly capable to operate as navigator on the Halifax bomber, flying many devastating missions over Germany. We probably all know or have ancestors who fought, in that very real and diabolical sense, for freedom. Since then, we've seen generations take for granted those freedoms and have them slowly erode as they have declined to take responsibility for upholding them. They have abandoned those responsibilities and instead paid a growing government to perform them. We've become a world hell-bent on abject mediocrity, where the top badge to earn is fitting in. The cost of all of this is a soft slavery. So now, when I'm asked sneeringly by some half-brained reporter for an example of some place in the world where our system of libertarianism has worked, I like to remind them that the question is moot. Let us first remove force and compulsion. In the United States, cotton still got picked when the slaves were freed. In fact, it preempted ingenuity which was met by entrepreneurs. And now we have the technology to feed millions on a far greater scale. I am not going to dwell too long on the size or importance of our task. As libertarians, you know the extent of the creep of totalitarianism, and you also know where it is going to end. And let us consider our goal. If we strive for a small, constitutionally limited government, we have a perfect example of how well that has gone when we look to the United States. The problem is visible, and it's sitting around the dining table, sitting around your dining table every day. Friends, neighbours, and relatives who act as cheerleaders for statism, especially when the government is a colour that they like. These are the people who would argue for your enslavement, who pay for the jackboot and for the jails, and who would see you dragged away from that table in the name of their taxes. The world has many and fantastic resources for promoting freedom, prosperity, and excellence. The Interlibertarians, as a movement, is a way of strengthening and coordinating these resources. The opportunity that you have, that we have, and it is more important than any individual political party, is the promotion of freedom, reason, and excellence. To grow more freedom-minded people, if you will. Understand that when we promote these things to the average airhead citizen of the world, we sound like we're speaking a different language. This is not a quick or an easy task, but it is perfectly possible, as Gramsci will attest. Let us not forget that the world has become less free, and freedom lovers have started looking around. Here in New Zealand, I am leading my party through some very large changes. We are rebranding, we're reforming, excuse me, and we're amalgamating with other freedom-minded entities. We're starting to play the game of politics a little bit better. I have no taste for politics. It sickens me. But the game of politics does not sicken me as much as our soft slavery. I do not know what role I will play in the new political entity that is formed, but rest assured I will promote your ongoing participation, our ongoing participation in the Libertarians. You have friends here in New Zealand. In closing, I noted that in his address to your last conference, the Director of the United Kingdom's Libertarian Alliance, Mr. Sean Gabb, suggests that at the very least, Libertarians must stay grouped. We must at least be here, and that maybe we will be asked for our opinion when things inevitably collapse. Well, I am not comfortable leaving things to chance, and you must decide today, every one of you, what role you will play in strengthening the force for freedom, reason, and excellence. I look forward to attending one of your future conferences, and in the meantime, I look forward to working together with you and indeed any other libertarian who would like to communicate. Look for me on Facebook, or my email address is on the Libertarians website. I hope you guys have a great conference, and I wish you well. Thank you.